All right, guys, we're suited up. Test run, the Blueprint 4.3 Plus. Let's see how this goes. We're back with another hero's journey, and we're checking out a brand new addition to the Travis lineup, the new Blueprint 4.3 Plus by ONeill. Nice little work of art, and excited to give it a test tomorrow. And I have the older Blueprint, which is a good suit, and I did a review on that. A couple little tidbits. So the suit does go kind of quickly. ONeill was nice about their warranty, gave me a new suit. It's already kind of shown wear after a few uses. I think their experimentation with the smooth skin, they're still figuring it out. But this, as you can see, not smooth skinny. It's more of just a normal neoprene feel. So that's cool because it's less prone to nicks and cuts and stuff. We don't have to look into my bedroom doing. So, but yeah, I thought it'd be cool to film this against some white walls like in the original ONeill Blueprint first video. This is the second Blueprint, and I thought it'd be cool to film in a pretty similar way against some white hilarious walls, which looks pretty horrible, but it's good because it actually shows off the suit pretty nice because it is black against the white wall. All right, real quick with some things about this suit that are kind of cool. So there's this whole new Technobutter 4 now. It's Technobutter 4. It's the new freaking go-to. I should be more stoked on it. I think we'll see because I love the Technobutter is the best thing ever. Is this like a marketing thing or is it actually gonna be better? It seems pretty similar. There are a lot of specs that make it on paper better. But after I use it, I'll really see and I'll let everyone know if the new Blueprint is the enhanced version is worth sticking with the Blueprints or going to the Hyperfreaks or the Hyperfreak Fires. Don't even get me started on the Hyperfreak Fires because I've already went down many rabbit holes. And what's interesting basically with the Hyperfreak Fires is it's a Hyperfreak and then they put the welded fluid seams over it. I don't know if I'm into that anymore from some past experiences. So it's a bummer because basically the Hyperfreak, it's so stretchy and stuff, I think because it never really used that. And it does have the taping on the inside like this Blueprint does as well. It has blue taping, so it's like a inner taping on the inside. And there's only the stitching on the outside. Whereas in the Hyperfreak now, the new Hyperfreak Fires, they use a welded fluid seam weld, and it's like a piece of plastic essentially that's super. It looks like a piece of tape on the inside, but it's made of plastic and it goes on the outside. And it's really water repellent and it keeps all the water out. So, but really in the end, even if you're not talking about the durability aspect of it, it limits the stretch some. And the Hyperfreaks are so great because they are really stretchy, and it's like once you start wearing the Hyperfreaks, it's like the best wetsuit ever because doesn't even feel like you're wearing a wetsuit. It's just super stretchy and feels good on your back and like this motion, which a lot of wetsuits end up kind of feeling like a straight jacket because it's a lot of pressure like right here, and it kind of can keep you a little upright. And when you were basically going like this the whole time, you're like resisting the wetsuits. It's like a lot of resistance the whole time. So if the wetsuit's just the thicker you go, the more uncomfortable it's going to be, and then the kind of less flexy is more upright and etc. So the Technobutter material does a really good job of being flexy, and the Hyperfreak with how it's all made, and it's kind of like a comp suit. The ones with the zippers I think are in the end the best because look at the back of this too. Because we turned it around so you can see my pretty face. Oh, now we can see that light over there, but you can kind of still see it's the bedroom, so we're gonna have to close that. But I don't want to mess this thing up or even wear it. So all in all, the Blueprint ends up being kind of like the Hyperfreak now. Whereas now with the new panel, kind of being more like a Hyperfreak panel, more neoprene. It's not smooth skin. It's like a comp, flat, big area of neoprene. And smooth skin suits are in theory better against the wind, but they're heavier. This is like a new material where I can tell it has these air pockets. They call this Technobutter 4 Air FIrewall. And they have these air pockets that are kind of similar to what they had on the last one, where it was like, I guess they're calling this the air technology or something. So like, it makes sense that there's like air. It's kind of like a purple bed, which destroyed my back, and I was basically handicapped for weeks. But I still love you, purple. So they're giving this another go with the air pockets. So I'm a little skeptical. We'll see. But I'm so stoked they went to this new kind of crazy, just regular material. So this is supposedly Technobutter 4 Air FIrewall, all this stuff. So they call it Technobutter 4, so I think it's still technically just Technobutter material. And you can kind of see it got compared to a normal wetsuit material. One thing that I really like about this, the blueprint and even the ONeill mutant, and if they did this to the Hyperfreak, a Hyperfreak would be the best suit. You could just keep in Hyperfreaks and you'd be stoked and it wouldn't matter. The wrists. So these little tiny pieces right here are what I really like. And I wish every suit could just have these. And they have, I think they're called Super Seal wrist ankle cuffs. It's kind of similar like the dry lock on XL. The XLs are even better, I think, but they actually are quote unquote tapered too, so it's like this goes into your wrist a lot nicer. The new Hyperfreak Fires, they say they do this tapering, but I look and they don't when I look at them in the store, which is kind of interesting. And then they say they do some kind of new wrist thing, but I look and it's just like the regular Hyperfreak. So, but if they had this in the Hyperfreak, the like plasma seal wrists, ankles and wrists they call it. See the bottom one too. If they had these just in the Hyperfreak, it would be like the best suit ever. Because really in the Hyperfreak, the only bad thing is when water comes in the ankles and the sleeves, and it really sucks sometimes because you're like, oh, I wish that didn't happen. And when the water's not that warm, it's not a big deal. Once it starts getting colder, you'd rather not too much water get in. And some people think you need water to get in there to let it water get in, but water's gonna get in no matter what, so you don't really have to worry about water not getting in. Like, water's gonna get in somewhere. So I'll just show you, because I have the old blueprint from 2021, 2022, and then the new blueprint 22, 23. I didn't realize it, but the older blueprint, it's a pretty heavy suit for sure. Like when you were just carrying it around when it's wet, it's like really heavy. I didn't realize that too until someone said it was heavy, and then I kind of was like, yeah, you're right, it's heavy. So holding them side by side, here's the old one too. As you can see, they kind of had the red and blue, but this is still when they first were doing the blue. New blue is the Technobutter, but this inside's red. So you can see it's red kind of there, and the inside's red. So that's kind of like the Firewall red material. So they kind of already had this, I guess. I didn't realize. There's still a new Technobutter. It's called Technobutter 4 and Technobutter 4X. Only used this suit like 5 times. And here's the unfortunate part. So this smooth skin stuff, it gets kind of like scaly and easily tears. So the new blueprint, I think, is an upgrade for sure from the old blueprint. The new blueprint still is kind of heavy. Like it still is a little on the bigger side. It is a 4.3, but the Hyperfreak 4.3 Plus, which is essentially the same suit, it definitely feels smaller. And I wore that today in 61-degree water, and it was pretty much perfect. But the suit had been fixed, so it's already kind of older, and then it got warranty, and then it has like a couple missing things. So it is leaking a little bit and stuff, but it still gets the job done. But I am excited to try out this new Hyperfreak, I call it a Hyperfreak, this new blueprint DB4 Firewall. Yeah, so there it is. Now, see, this is where the Sony, oh, there we go, focused. I just gotta hide, and the Sony will focus on stuff. So yeah, that's the interior, which really is similar. I mean, That's TV4 Firewall. Let's see what this one is. I mean, it looks pretty similar to me. Really, nothing's that much different. I think we'll see the Technobutter. The new Technobutter is more stretchy or not, but yeah. So I'll let you guys know after I give this guy this test drive. It's also just really cool about the blueprint, and probably should have been amping it up more this whole time. But it's, you know, made out of a lot of recycled materials, which is pretty cool because, you know, could seem easy enough to do that, but in reality, to try to make a suit as good as, you know, quote unquote normal made suits that aren't as sustainable, it can't be as easy as it seems. So pretty cool that it's, you know, my favorite suit is the Technobutter, and this is kind of the recycled one. Even in the Hyperfreaks now, and like the short arm and long sleeve, and I think from now on they're going to start doing it a little more and more, so it's pretty cool. And you can see here all the red interior of the Technobutter 4 and 4X. And just to go through it again, chest up here and the shoulders are Technobutter 4X. This arms are kind of Technobutter 4X Firewall. It's like a little added warmth. This is Firewall, Technobutter 4 Air Firewall. And then we keep going down, and that goes all the way to the knees, and the bottom at the calves and ankles is Technobutter 4 Firewall as well. So yeah, I think the air, quote unquote air firewall, those little balls that go on the kind of, you can feel around. And there you go, there's the joke at the end of the video. For your viewing pleasure now, I will try it on. I'm not looking forward to this at all, but we have to at least see if it fits before I just straight up wear it. Through the magic of editing, we have accomplished the task of putting on a 4-3 wetsuit on dry land without having a heart attack, and we pulled it off. Feels a lot like a Hyperfreak straight up. It's a lot lighter than the older 4-3, the older blueprint. It's definitely, I can tell it's like pretty tight because it's brand new. When you try on these suits, they're always like really tight. But what's cool is that it really feels kind of like a Hyperfreak. It just, you can tell that it's right here in the chest area and going down. It's very thin, and that's great. The shoulders feel nice and loose. That's why you gotta find the ones at the Technobutter 3 or 4X and the shoulders and arms. That's the most important part. See, I feel a little bit right here, that seam. See, if that was the fluid weld, then it's a little even more restrictive. So this new material in the chest and stuff feels really great. It feels like it's definitely going to be warm. It's a perfect compromise, I think, between the smooth skin, still like a Hyperfreak. It's still this little Neoprene patch thingy. Cut that off. I zip it up. All the necks on the ONeills are the same. The newer ones are all this double collar seal, which is kind of nice. It's actually my preferred neck at this point, is really, I like the double. The Mutant actually doesn't have the double, and it kind of makes the wearing the suit without a hood not the best, because you get used to the double, and then you get just a single seal. That's not as fun. But overall, I think this is a pretty great fitting suit. Kind of just feels like a Hyperfreak with a little added features. Feels a little on you, a little more like, all right, body armor. Hyperfreak, you're kind of lazily putting on a sweater. This is more, all right, it's about to downpour, you gotta get ready. That's what this feels like, so we'll see how it goes, and I'll let y'all know. So, all right, get ready for the conclusion. The new ONeill Blueprint 4.3 Plus. Will it outperform the old Blueprint and all the other suits ONeill offers? It's their highest premium suit. Let's see what happens. Stay tuned. All right, y'all. Mission success. The wetsuit performed pretty phenomenally. Is that a word? Basically served for 3 hours. 2 different spots right next to each other. It was really getting amongst it, and I was warm as can be the whole time. The water's probably 61, 62, so it's could even be in a 3-2. but I like to be warm. But suit was great. A teeny bit restrictive, but I think that's because it's brand new. Yeah, overall the suit just felt really good. It's compared to the last year's model 4.3. I think this model is stretchier. The smooth skin replacement, it's more of just a regular neoprene type deal. I think it's a lot more durable. I don't think it's gonna get as many nicks in it. And definitely need to stretch the suit out a teeny bit. It is still a little tight, but I felt great. The suit barely flushed at all. It was a pretty gutless day. I had a session on the fish and then a session on the mid-length, so both felt great. Yeah, I just kept going. Just literally almost got 3 hours out there. It just felt really good. Pretty unbelievably too, this material on the inside, the Technobutter 4 Firewall material, it's already dry. Like, it's pretty unbelievable. This is somehow already dry. I can't tell if it never got wet or it literally dried in the last 5-10 minutes since the sun's been on it. So pretty awesome. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in to another hero's journey. Till next time, peace.